we have to have clarity on our part as to what the narrative we want to be is. And so I think respectability politics is a spectacular failure, where our idea of reclaiming the narrative is being welcomed into certain spaces, no matter what the cost of that is. So if we have to relinquish our commitments, either religious commitments or political commitments as a Muslim community, in order to sit on certain tables and in order to be welcomed into certain spaces, we will do so, because as long as there's a Muslim in the space, then that's progress. And I completely reject that view. I do not subscribe to that view whatsoever. It is not progress. In fact, it can be weaponized against us, right? It could actually be to the detriment of the community if Muslims are welcomed in without their Islam, because then it's used as a means of beating down the Muslim community and saying, see, look, if you want to get ahead, this is how you get ahead. So we have to have clarity as to what the narrative is on our part first. And that is that our deepest commitment to Islam is a deeper connection to humanity. And if we can build proper clout and build institutions and build community, then we get to sit at the table without relinquishing ourselves. And if there are certain tables that we're not going to be able to sit at, then so be it. We'll make another table, inshallah ta'ala, with other people that we can make that table with. But we can't relinquish our core values, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many times, or actually I can tell you how many times, I'm not going to, how many times because of Palestine, right? Because of Palestine, you're not allowed to be too pro-Palestinian. You're not allowed to vocally support BDS. What the limit is that you're allowed to say that people should have free speech, but you can't support this. And if you're an Orthodox Muslim, you're not allowed in certain leftist spaces, right? Because your orthodoxy is a barrier. We've got to get over that. And I think that what that means is creating institutions that actually speak to the Muslim community, free from government interference, free from big foundations that have nefarious intentions, free from all of those things. No, this has to be an authentic voice for the community that speaks to the reality of Islam, and then pave the way for people. So it's not enough, and I'll just say this to everyone, it's not enough to just think that if Muslims have more philanthropy, if Muslims do a better job in terms of charity, in terms of this, that suddenly Islamophobia is going to go away. This is an industry. The demonization of Muslims and Islam is strategic, it's calculated, it's well coordinated, it's an industry, right? And so, yes, kunu du'atan lillah wa antum samitun, be callers to Allah even as you're quiet with your service. We need to have khidmah, we need to have service, we need to have the best relief agencies going forward. We need to have the brightest politicians that usher in more ethical politics and more moral politics. But on top of that, we need to do the best that we can to create institutions. And the example that I always give people is this. Imagine a flamethrower walking down the street, setting a bunch of houses on fire. This is how I describe yaqeen to everyone in an analogy. A flamethrower goes around setting a bunch of houses on fire. Muslims are wonderful at running to the fires and trying to put them out. That fire one day is Palestine. That fire one day is the Uyghurs. That fire one day is Islamophobia in France. That fire one day, but we'll spend charity, and we will do what we can to commit ourselves. We'll tweet about it. We'll write about it, as we should. By the way, we should give charity and we should advocate. But at what point do we say, all right, how do we stop the flamethrower from setting?
The problem is, it's not even that. They don't even think about, a lot of us, unfortunately, don't think about stopping the flamethrowers. There are institutions or those with power who actually are fueling the flamethrower.
Yeah, unfortunately, and I think that's part of, a deep misunderstanding or a deep disagreement that I have with individuals, that progress is through being welcomed in, even if that means betraying some of your deepest ideals and your community's positions.